It's been a while since I made an update on the Switzerland series. If you're new to the channel, I am making, or I have a playlist on my channel regarding moving to Switzerland. I've been living in Switzerland for the past 4 months it is, I think. And I made a whole journey towards it. Wasn't easy, it took me a couple of years actually. Not really the moving part itself, of course, but COVID and all kinds of other stuff that came in between. But you can check out the series on the history on my channel, of course. But I want to make a update/follow-up video. So the last video I made was how to move to Switzerland, the ultimate guide, with a link in the description which took you to a web shop where you could purchase a PDF template or PDF file which contained all the steps you need to go through if you're moving to Switzerland from an EU country. It also contained a PDF file for a template basically for a motivation letter and a resume, which were Swiss proof and the ones that I basically used to apply for a job in Switzerland, which also got checked and actually got updated by people who work in Switzerland in recruitment. So this guide video has been updated because I've been living here. I encountered things that I didn't find on the internet, things that surprised me that I didn't find on the internet and any other tutorial. So I combined everything in one guide, and the link to this new guide is in the description down below. It's a self-file link because I use that. It's super easy, super simple for me to place the files on there in order to get them to you. So if you're looking to move to Switzerland from an EU country, you can buy those guides and templates. They're not that expensive. Considering the amount of research and everything that I've done to come here over the years, as you can see in my video series, I think it's a fair price, I would say. All the money goes directly back into the YouTube channel, and of course you get a super helpful guide or super helpful information, and maybe I cover things that you haven't thought about yourself, etc. I would say that the 3 main topics of moving to Switzerland are: 1, you have to be specialized in something. You really have to be specialized. Why? Well, you don't really have to. Depends, of course, what kind of jobs you're looking for. But let's say for IT and for healthcare, they're looking for people who have experience in one particular thing and not someone who can do everything. That's the preference of the Swiss people in general. It doesn't mean that getting a job with a different kind of background or resume is impossible, but it will make it a bit harder. So don't get demotivated if I say things that don't fit your profile, I would say. The thing you really have to focus on and think about is housing. Why housing, especially depending on where you're looking for a job, is very hard to find. I'm living in the canton of Zurich, I'm living outside of the city, and it's still really expensive to rent houses. So depending on how many people you're moving, what kind of size of an apartment or house you're looking for, do you need a garage, all these small little things, it adds up and it gets expensive. Compared to be looking for a house or for housing, I would say, between 3 to 6 months. That's no joke. There's people who've been waiting for years on a waiting list in order to find an apartment, get an apartment in the city, because it's so hard to find. So I would recommend, if you're on a time schedule, that you move somewhere outside of the city, because it's 1, more affordable. Connections with public transport are very good. That's the second point. And the third point is that it's quicker to find. So really focus on those things. Now that you have your job and your housing, you have to focus on all the paperwork, which means a couple of things. You have to get a visa. How you get the visa and the application process is described in the guide in the description down below. You have to register yourself at your municipality. You have to swap your driving license. And if you bring your animals, I brought Pablo, you have to register your dog at the vet and actually import them into Switzerland, so you have to go through customs, etc. Then another thing that you should not forget is insurances. Insurances for animals and people are mandatory in Switzerland. Getting a health insurance within the first month of you registering at your municipality is mandatory. If not, you'll be fined with huge fines. Don't risk it. Search upfront for a health insurance. I've linked multiple health insurances and comparison websites in the guide in the description down below. So if you're interested in running through all these steps in more detail, then please check out the guide. I will of course make a next video. A next video that was following after this one will be the cost of living in Switzerland. I'll give you a rough estimate on what I pay for my monthly expenses, and then you can estimate for yourself on how much you would spend more or less depending on how many people your household consists of. Dang, it's hot. It's been like 40 degrees, 30 plus for like weeks. Not 40, but it's hot. Even though I mentioned visa as a third point, it's very important to know that you cannot open a bank account, you cannot get an internet connection, and you cannot get a mobile phone or a SIM card without this visa. So after signing your contract and getting your housing contract, you go after a visa straight away and take care of the insurances afterwards, because you still have a month for insurances and living or moving to another country without having internet, a bank account and all those kind of things. It's a real pain in the butt, and it took me quite some time actually to get all that stuff up and running. So now that you're in and you're starting your first working day, you're traveling with your public transport, you have your bank account set up. Good thing for you as an expat from the European Union coming to Switzerland means that within the first, I think it's the first 5 years, until you have your C residentship, they're deducting your taxes automatically from your wage, and you're getting a discount because you're a foreigner. You should use this. Stack up money, save money, invest money, do whatever you want, but save it, at least have it in some kind of asset, because after those 4 or 5 years, you will be paying the same taxes as Swiss people, and the discount period is over. If you really want to take a benefit from this time, from you still being an expat, then it should be now. One of the steps that I didn't mention, but it's let's say a detail or something I kind of expect you to already have done before you started your move to Switzerland and applying for jobs, is that you basically have some level of German. Yes, there are English companies out there, but the competition is very high. You landing an English-speaking job in the Zurich canton or within Switzerland in general is very, very slim. The people competing for those jobs are usually super highly skilled, have lots of years of experience, so maybe you're one of those people, and then yes, it's possible. But if you're younger like myself, I'm 26 years old, just turned 26 a week ago, fun fact. It's important to have German language, and not only that, most of the paperwork and the things you have to take care of in Switzerland, insurances, etc., are German. And I mean, I would be more comfortable knowing what I'm signing for my health insurance than not knowing what I'm signing for, if you know what I'm saying. Getting a proper course that is internationally recognized, for example, the Goethe Institute. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. I can't remember where the umlaut is. I haven't looked at it for a long time. But getting let's say a A2, B1, B2 level would be very good. If you're working on management positions or higher up in the company, positions in companies, then C1 is usually the minimum. Also, before you start your move, stack up money, because it's expensive to move. Not only, especially from one country to another, but especially when you're moving to Switzerland. All the prices are way higher than from the country that you're moving from in 99% of the cases, which means that you need some cash in the bank. If you don't have it, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be really rough, and I don't actually know if it's possible to move to Switzerland without any cash in the bank, to be honest. So I hope this is a small introduction, especially a small update video that triggers you into actually getting the guide, the full guide and details. These are some of the things you have to look out for anyways. I give you this information for free. I've done my research for a long time before I moved to Switzerland. But if you want all the nitty-gritty stuff and you're actually moving to Switzerland, you want all the details, you want the templates, then please check out the link in the description down below. In the next video, I'll be going over the cost of living in Switzerland. If you want to make sure that you don't miss out on that video, please click on the subscribe button down below. Like the video if you actually liked it. Hope to see all of you guys in the next video. Ciao.
Perfect.